The headline.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you so much for making time for us as well. Before we get into what the Human Rights Watch has found, as well as Amnesty International, just quickly explain to us the reason behind the push to have a separate state from the main state in Cameroon.
Ambazonia has always been a separate state. It has never been a state legally recognized under Cameroon. So Cameroon has been an independent state as the 1st of January 1960 without Ambazonia. Then Ambazonia was still a self-governing entity under the United Kingdom trusteeship mandate. And so on the 1st of October 1961, Cameroon annexed Ambazonia. And so we are fighting to decolonize and to end that annexation, which has been brutal in all its form and shape.
To what end and what purpose?
To be free like all other nations and to establish over that nation a political system that is consistent with our socio-economic and political reality.
So with the current setup, what would you say it disadvantages people who are from Ambazonia?
Annexation is a crime. Aggression is a crime. It's not about disadvantage within the context of Cameroon. It's that another country violated its international border, annexed another, and used violence to maintain that annexation. It has to come to an end.
And you said this happened, sorry, I just missed the year there.
Cameroon gained independence on the 1st of January 1960 as a separate state without Ambazonia.
Yeah.
And on the 1st of October 1961, it annexed Ambazonia.
So then, in light with what you just mentioned now, how then should we understand the resolution of the OAU that the borders at that time should be respected?
Of course, the OAU Constitutive Act is clear. The border at independence must be respected. Cameroon's border with Ambazonia was set in 1919 through the Milner-Simon Treaty, and it gained independence within the confines of that particular border. So it should respect its border at independence. It didn't include Ambazonia.
Okay. Now, looking into this report by the Human Rights Watch, what is it that you think that should be happening here to make sure that these atrocities also come to an end? Because what the report also indicates is that people have been stopped along the roads, for instance, while on their way home. There's an excerpt about a family that were on their way home. They were stopped and they were accused of being separatists.
What is going on in our country is horrific and is beyond explanation. International crimes are being committed, crimes against humanity, crimes of genocide, war crimes, and crime of aggression. And under normal circumstances, Cameroon should have been referred to the ICC. We thought the African Union would have taken a more, stronger stance with respect to what is happening within the continent. That impunity of any kind is a violation of the Charter, but nothing has been done. What is supposed to be done is that those responsible for the crimes within Ambazonia should be arraigned before a tribunal and tried for the impunity against our people.
And where should this trial be taking place?
There have been different models of trials that have taken place. The International Criminal Court is one. Within the context of Africa, a special tribunal could be set up, and the ICC prosecutor could work with the African Union to investigate and ascertain the crimes that we have enlisted: crimes of genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. And then they can move from there. There are several international jurisdictions that can be used to prosecute these crimes.
What then about the finding from Amnesty International that all parties to the conflict in Cameroon's Anglophone regions have committed human rights violations and abuses, and civilians caught in the middle?
I cannot deny that on our side there have been some mishaps. but they don't amount to the threshold of international crimes, like
why do you
crimes
call them
against
mishaps?
humanity. Because there are different thresholds to crimes that can be prosecuted at the international level. Within the Ambazonian resistance, there have been some actions that are inconsistent with the respect of human rights. They have not been a violation of international humanitarian law. And so we have investigated some of them. We've arrested soldiers. We are taking action against those who are, for example, illegally arresting people, extortion and kidnapping, or any form of harassment and torture. But those are not policies which have been exacted by our forces. What we are talking here, and which the Oxford University rejected in terms of moral equivalence, is the fact that the crimes being committed by Cameroon are policy positions, are crimes that are systematic in nature and should be prosecuted at the international level.
Don't you think that what it also does is that people would then lose sympathy for the cause of the separatists because of the stance that's being taken by some of these people that you say they are acting based on something that's not policy?
How can you lose sympathy for a people? It's like, the brutality on South Africa by the white regime and little exactions by the Umkhonto Wesizwe will cause Africans. Look, I went to school in primary school and I made handwork to be able to support, the Umkhonto Wesizwe, to support the resistance in South Africa. Who really cared about some of the little exactions committed by the Umkhonto Wesizwe against a mighty power supported by the international system that was massacring people as a matter of policy, segregation as a matter of policy? It's not a matter of sympathy. It's a matter of violation of international rules, commission of crimes against humanity. People must understand that war is dirty. We are taking all steps necessary under the conditions of utmost brutality to make sure that we conduct ourselves with respect to human rights norms and the respect for international humanitarian law.
With President Paul Biya, do you think there's any opportunity at all to sit with him around the table?
Paul Biya is an international criminal. He should be arraigned in front of the ICC. We have asked the international community to work together and put in place a multilateral system and get Cameroon to commit, to discussions and on a timetable of his withdrawal from our country. Paul Biya, I don't think he has any role to play. He's killed so many people that his rightful place on planet Earth is in jail.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Cho Ayaba, the current leader